So it's kind of a slow day, and I'm digging out some of these dynamic mics. This is the Rode pod mic. Have you seen the box? Box kind of plain. That's what it looks like, Rode pod mic. It doesn't come with anything as far as a shock mount or anything. It shows just mount it there. But here's what happens when you tap your desk. If you bump your desk, I'm going to bump it. Now I'm going to tap the table the mic stands on. And I'm very lightly bumping it. I'm running this with a booster, a Fedhead type booster. I'm through the Audient ID4. I have the gain at about 1 o'clock. I'm about 3 to 4 inches off the mic, slightly off axis. Now I'm going to slip this over it. Sorry for the noise. And that could help. So when Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, how many pickled peppers did Peter Piper picked? I don't know. When Peter Piper picked pickled peppers, how many pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? That should be nice and poppy. All right, so that is your Rode pod mic under what normally happens in a podcast is bumping the table, somebody tapping the table. I just did one, and that's why I know guilty. I did not use my shotgun mic, so it may not sound great, but we'll see. So I was off axis, and you could tell, right? It's a 2040, AT2040 XLR, not USB. It's all XLR today. No windscreen, no anything. This is a cheap, generic shock mount. I actually used this shock mount with my first mic, the MXL 990. And then it also worked on a TLM 103 and a 102. 102 was close because it was smaller, but it fit both those mics and did a pretty good job. All right, so bump this table. Bump the other table. That ought to be pretty loud. And windscreen it. Windscreen's a little big. And I do have a black one ordered for this. It's made for the 2020 and 2040. I think it'll work on the 2040. The thing is, when you take this off, this little mic holder, it leaves a indentation where this thing fits. So it's not cylindrically smooth down through there. And, you know, I guess it's okay. You might can see right there. I bet that made noise. But does the shock mount help it? I tried to fix the rubber bands. They were off, or the elastic bands. Let me hit the table one more time. My air conditioner's running. I don't know how much of that you're hearing. I know I'm not centered up. I'm just trying to play to the mic with this. All right, so now let's do some really off-axis stuff. I'm just going to move around to the side, move around to the side. What do you get? What do you got? You really have to stay in front of these dynamics. You really got to be squared up, and you got to stay there. Even if I get way back here, you know, it's going to drop way out, which means it shouldn't pick up a lot of extra noise other than these vibrations, and I think maybe a better mount will help that. I've always been an advocate of don't put your mic stands on your desk if you can help it. I know in my old booth I had mounted a 2x4 on the wall and fixed some plates on it where I could attach the mic to that, so the wall would have to shake for the mic to make noise, you know. But anyway, it is what it is. Now, I've watched some shootouts on these two mics, and they come out pretty similar every time I've watched them with different people. What I was looking for is clarity. First off, is it good podcast audio, because I like these and how they look for the video. And we're going to do one more, and that'll be the Shure MV7, which is a totally different ball game. Again, this one's set on a 1 o'clock gain. It should be about the same as the other one. I'm not positive, so if my gains are all over the place, I'm not going to change them. I'm going to leave everything the same for every mic, except the MV7 will not get this booster put on it. It doesn't need it. I know I can run it about 3 o'clock without the booster, and it's fine. And so we're going to try it at 1 o'clock with nothing and see what we have. All right, and then we got 3 that you can look at. I'm going to cut myself because I lied. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to cut myself. I put the Fedhead on because when I recorded it the first time, for some reason I had in my mind I didn't have to do it on this mic, but you do. You do need it, and it could have been the opposite. It could have been the AT2040. It didn't need it. One of them didn't really need it as much, but let's run it with that. And again at 1 o'clock, and that's probably a pretty strong sound. Now, 3 different mics, probably 3 very different sounds. From what I remember testing this one before, it sounded better. I also remember it did not pick up the air conditioning. Air conditioning's on still. Let's listen. There's also a computer tower behind me, and the fan's running. It's not super loud. It's more of a quieter fan, but it's running. Don't know if you hear that or not. Moving around on the side, you can kind of see it's going to lose some stuff when you go around, and, you know, they all do that. These are dynamic microphones. Ouch, I hit my head. Again, not on anything, and this mic stand is tied to my desk. So here we go. Bump the mic stand. And I'm sure there's going to be some noise. There's nothing to stop it. It's all wood to metal right up to the mic. So it's probably got some noise. But does this one maybe have some stuff built in where it doesn't pick it up as bad? We'll see. We'll absolutely see. We're talking about trying to dampen those type things. This is the what I used on the 2040. And make sure when you get these that they fit tight. You want it to fit tight. The mic's got to be held in there tight to where these bands can do their job, and this inside insulates and the bands do their thing. Shotgun mic, this little Movo. This is another Amazon thing you can get. Movo, there you go, you found it. And I can't remember if that material's called Rylan. I can't remember. These are $29. I bought 2. You will have to buy adapters if you're going to put it on a mic stand, because they come with the 1/4 inch like for a camera. And that's what they're mainly made for. But look, they work great. You put it on here, spin it on, and it's there. It does a wondrous job, which I flip it up for the shotgun. And, yeah, for $29, the main difference in it is it's probably, you know, I don't know, there may be some differences in it in the Rode. I have the Rode in the other booth. It works great, but these work great. And I recommend both. If you'd rather have a Rode, buy the Rode. The AT, and sorry, I'm bumping the stand again. That's where I was talking about. It has that place right there, and that's really where your shock mount needs to go, but that's where this goes normally. If you've got your mic stand on something other than your desk and it's not getting bumped and you're not hitting your table for obvious reasons, you're probably fine without a shock mount on it. Just the thing is, if you can, mount your mic stand not on your desk. How do you do that? There's a table right next to this desk, and I'm on the table. It's mounted to the table. This one is mounted to the desk. There's nothing I can do about that. So it's going to pick up every little touch. And that's me just barely hitting it. Like, you know, if I leaned up and got my mouse and my hand went down. So a lot of them you hear a doom, doom. It sounds like, you know, Sasquatch is coming. And I did that in my podcast today, and I apologize. But anyway, hey, 3 totally different mics. I'm going to turn this gain up a little more just so you can hear how it changes. And this is up about 2 o'clock, between 2 and 3. And MV7, you can get them used. The AT2040, you can get these in the AT Audio-Technica. They have an outlet store. They have these in there too, and I think there's a 2040 or a 2020 model they've actually got in there now. There's a lot of times you can catch some really good deals in there, and they're new and warranted, just like new off the shelf. It's usually discontinued stuff. And then the other one that we had was the pod mic, and that's the Rode Pod mic. And it it's got a good sound. It's all in what you like, and it's all in how your voice resonates through that mic. Mine may be the best fit for this one. Yours may not be. Okay, smart guy, well, give us a shotgun mic and set it at about 2 or 3 o'clock. What does it sound like? This is running through the Audient ID4. No processing, no nothing. So all my mouth clicks and mouth noise, you're going to get it. Sorry. This is the AT875R, the little baby shotgun that I talk about a lot, the one that my buddy Jake Sanders bought and is slaying it using only this mic. Several people I know have bought this mic. It is my content creation mic a lot of times. It is my UGC long form. If I'm doing video sales letters, green screen, it is mounted to another stand that will drop down over my green screen area, and it'll do my audio most of the time through an iRig into a phone, and the audio is perfect. This may be the best buy I've ever seen for a professional mic. All right, my air just came on. It's hot. Air conditioners run when it's hot a lot. Can we hear it? Let me shut up. We'll see. Computer's still running too, so you could have heard it there. As we know, these things are, pretty good even if you move away. You're just slightly off axis. I'm kind of talking across it. Some people like them up higher and angled more down. Some people like them right off to the side, angled straight in. Whatever works with your voice. I have found that just kind of, if you're looking at me and that's straight on, and if it's over here and back just a little, that's what that is. I don't know what that angle is. I didn't take a lot of math, but it's at that angle. So, if you were to kind of stick your arm out straight to the side and bring it halfway back in, that would make it a 45. I don't know, maybe. I'm not going to commit to that. Just move it where it sounds best. Work with it, and you'll hear where it picks up the best and where you don't plosive out the most, and where it's cleanest and clearest. I'm not going to play with a lot of directional stuff on this. You guys know what these are and what they're for. They're for making that dollar. That's what they're for. Shotgun mics are awesome. Do I love a really good large condenser and how rich they are? Yeah, I got an MK4. It sounds pretty good. It sounds a lot like the 416, actually. And that Sennheiser USB mic, it sounds a lot like those. The Sennheiser's got it going on. They know how to get that sound. But Audio-Technica, not bad. And I'm going to tell you, if you're buying one mic and it's all you can buy, this thing, I've seen them for as low as $169, where it will say, and watch this on Amazon a lot of times. New will be $219. And then further down, when you scroll down, it'll say used like new. It's refurbished, guaranteed, same warranty, everything. Buy those products. The box may be plain or something, but all the accessories will be there, the warranty's there, and it'll work. I've never bought anything like that didn't. And I shouldn't say I buy a lot of stuff. That doesn't sound good. But no, I'm just saying I buy a lot of stuff that way. I've bought this camera you're seeing me on here, this Osbot. I bought it that way. My other Osbot I bought that way. I bought a thermal printer that way. Gosh, I can't tell you. I always look for that. Even if it's $10, it's $10. Save the money. And but be sure it says excellent, either like new or excellent. And the ones that say excellent are usually still in the original box and everything. I think that's the difference in like new. It just doesn't have the right packaging. AT875R. You heard the MV7. You heard the Rode Pod mic, and you heard the AT2040. 2040. I have to look every time, and I know it's 2040. Yeah, it's AT2040. Can you see it on there, on the back? Focus. It's not going to do it as long as it sees me, but that's okay. That's okay. Oh. Anyway. Hey, have a good day. That's enough mic stuff for years. I'll never do this again.